way out in the middle of the woods today, because why not, right? It's been a while since I've been out here. You know, I was thinking, I used to do this thing, and I hope I haven't already done this like on my channel somewhere, but this thing that I like to do sometimes is like take two albums that I'm a big fan of and compare them to each other. But the thing is, the two albums have to be like two consecutive albums by the same artist, and they also have to have the same number of songs. And that's how I usually do it. I mean, the thing is, they have to have the same number of songs because I just compare them song by song, you know, like one versus track one, and then track two versus track two. I guess they don't have to be two consecutive albums, although it doesn't come up that often because I haven't bought that many albums in my life. But every now and then, I've hit on two consecutive ones. For example, Blue and Pinkerton by Weezer. Another example would be Running with Scissors versus the one that came after it by Weird Al. Shoot, I forget what it's called. It's not Poodle Hat, right? Was it Poodle Hat? Might have been Poodle Hat. Anyway, you know, Blue versus Pinkerton's actually pretty easy because there's only 10 songs on each. So you would start out like track one of Blue is My Name is Jonas versus track one of Pinkerton, which is Tired of Sex. And that title, Tired of Sex, is hilarious enough. Not to mention the handwriting on the back of Pinkerton with the letters all slanted forward like they're falling over, like they're tired too. Just tired of sex. You know, that T in tired is also tired of sex. Tired of sex, like seriously. How can you be tired of sex? I don't know, it's just hilarious to me. But this one's a tough choice. They're both pretty strong openers to their albums. They're both kind of upbeat. I guess My Name is Jonas is more like a ballad than Tired of Sex is, but I think those guitar arpeggios in My Name is Jonas definitely are pretty unforgettable and pretty iconic in the Weezer discography, as it were. And so, whereas nobody really talks about Tired of Sex, it is a funny song, and I do have videos of myself, like in the past, lip-syncing it with the camera just on my face the whole time, just making funny faces to the rhythm of the song. So there is that, but so Tired of Sex is definitely the funnier of the two songs and also the more original. Well, I don't know. I don't really know what the meaning of My Name is Jonas is. I never really thought about it. Choo-choo train left right on time. I don't know. Anyway, so for track one, I think My Name is Jonas is actually the winner just because it's more iconic, it's more memorable, and it's more epic. Even though Tired of Sex is arguably the harder of the two songs and the faster, still My Name is Jonas just kind of sweeping, you know, like, and the way the guitars just kind of wash in from the background and crashing like a wave. It's really cool. So My Name is Jonas wins. Blue 1, Pinkerton 0. Track 2 is probably the two worst tracks on each album, to be honest. Get You is just horrible, even though I quote it all the time. It's alright. I mean, Get You is like that adrenaline rush song where it's like, you're gonna get the girl, get you, It's just, it's everything. I don't know if that's what they intended it to be, but man, it's like a really dumb song. It's just, I don't know, it's fun, but it's also dumb, so make of that what you will. Track 2 on Blue is called No One Else, and that was also like one of my less favorite songs when I was a kid, or when I was younger, I guess, but more so because I was kind of a tight ass, I don't know, and I didn't really care for the whole possessive tone of the song. Like, he's talking about he wants a girl who will, like, you know, who will only laugh at his jokes and nobody else, or she won't wear makeup when anyone else is around except for him, or things like that. So that's why I say, you know, these are like the two worst songs of the two albums. So, I don't know. Like I said, Get You is pretty bad. No One Else is not nearly as bad. I mean, at least No One Else is kind of catchy. Get You is like one of those songs that has that mid-tempo beat, that plodding beat that you dance to by jumping into a pool full of mayonnaise and jumping around like a monkey or something. I know that doesn't make any sense to anyone, but so yeah, I think for this one, track 2, No One Else is the winner. So that puts Blue 2, Pinkerton 0. Maybe it's been a while since I've done this, but I don't remember it being this one-sided. Because I remember for track 3, okay, now track 3 to me is where both albums really start to get good. The world has turned and left me here. That song is so incredibly atmospheric, and yet somehow manages to be fairly upbeat at the same time. I just love the way the song feels. It encapsulates loneliness so very well, and just the tone of it all around when he's talking about, I just made love to your sweet photograph 1,000 times in my head, you know, and then the you remain further every day. That whole hook is just so freaking good. I love it. I actually think that no other one from Pinkerton is also a great song. It's really cheesy. It's just a straight up love song. It's a waltz, it's in 3/4. The thing that sells me the most on this song, though, is the key change in the bridge. Like, to me, that is so brilliant. I don't know how they came up with that, but I just always loved that. And to me, it really brings the song together at the end. Even though for the most part, it's kind of just a regular old corny song. And so because of that, and this is where I'm starting to get confused here. Man, it's really cold out here. What was I saying? Well, I was saying that no other one is like, aside from the key change, though, it's really kind of generic. Well, not overly generic. Well, I mean, it is, I guess. It's just a simple little love song. But The World Has Turned and Left Me Here is probably my favorite song on Blue today. So because of that, The World Has Turned and Left Me Here is the winner. So now it's Blue 3, Pinkerton 0. I do not remember it being this one-sided. Okay, so track 4, let's see, what do we got? Blue is Buddy Holly, obviously. Classic Weezer right there. So the video's amazing, the song's amazing, it's catchy as hell. And Pinkerton, it's Why Bother, which always struck me as kind of an unstable song. I don't really know what it is. It always feels like that song's right on the verge of just falling apart or something. And it's good, it's catchy, it's got a good guitar solo, and it's got some really funny lyrics, hilarious lyrics. He's talking about why bother, it's gonna hurt me, it's gonna hurt again when you desert me. This happened to me twice before, won't happen to me anymore. You know, what guy can't relate to that? Plus there's that other line about, well, it's just sexual attraction, it's not for real, so I better keep whacking. You just know, like, you just know. But in spite of the hilarious lyrics, I just don't think Why Bother is really all that memorable. And Buddy Holly obviously was a single standout hit for Weezer overall, so Buddy Holly wins. Now it's Blue 4, Pinkerton 0. The thing is, I love Pinkerton though. Like, what is going on here? Well, okay, so now we come to track 5. Track 5, hot take alert. Okay, so track 5 on Blue is called Undone, the Sweater Song. Most Weezer fans know it. I was never that big of a fan of it. I get what they're trying to do with it, you know, they're trying to make like a drunk song. And if ever there were, I don't think there's ever been a song in the world that has encapsulated the feeling of being drunk better than that song does. So for all they set out to do, I recognize that they succeeded massively with it. I just always thought the song was boring. For the same reason that I think going to bars is boring. It's just a bunch of people hanging out, talking about nothing, doing nothing. Oh, I hate you, this is some party, right? Man, I'm so stoned. Take it easy, pal. You know, one time when I was riding in the car with my sister, I said that. I was like, even though I wasn't stoned, I said it. I said, I'm so stoned, because I was just happy at the moment. So, and I'll still remember that. We both laugh at that to this day. I cringe a little bit, but yeah. So, track 5 on Pinkerton is called Across the Sea. One of my favorite all-time Pinkerton tracks. This song is just, I mean, first of all, when it first starts out, it's like this tinkly piano, and he starts singing these really sappy lyrics about being in love with this Japanese girl, and you think it's gonna be one of these ballads, you know, but then suddenly the drums kick in, and the guitars, and it's like this upbeat guitar song, and it's just so freaking catchy. I've always thought that song was catchy as hell. Like the way he sings the words so far away rhythmically, it's like really interesting or something. I don't know, but yeah, I've always loved Across the Sea. That's one of my favorite songs on there, and I really don't know why. It's just so freaking catchy, but I love it. And so, well, so in a surprise twist here, Across the Sea wins. Blue 4, Pinkerton 1. I don't know what this is. It looks like somebody was building something here. Anyway, so still not looking too good for Pinkerton here, but let's go on to track 6. 6 on Blue is Surf Wax America. And on Pinkerton, it's called The Good Life? I think that's what it's called. These are both really good songs, and mainly, they're both good for the same reason. They're both catchy, they're both happy, they're both upbeat, they're both funny. This is probably the hardest choice I've had to make yet here. Because, I don't know. Surf Wax America is unforgettable. Like, you know, you take your car to work, I take my Ford, or board. I don't know. I love, like, in the second chorus when he says, I'm still afloat, and he goes to the high note instead. It's just little things like that they do on this album. He doesn't say it ain't so as well. Man, that song's so good, though. I don't see a lot of people talk about The Good Life. Then again, I guess I don't see people talk about Surf Wax America either. But I always love The Good Life, too, and I actually made a video to that song. Which I know that shouldn't matter, but I'm trying to think, which song is it that does the Beach Boys thing? That was Surf Wax America. Makes sense that it would be. But The Good Life is just... It's hard for me to explain why I like that song. I don't have to sit down and listen to it again so I can just point out what I mean, because it's hard to really pin it down to just one specific thing. I always just felt like I could really identify with the meaning of the song. It's like he's always trying to get back to the good life, you know. It's not like any one specific thing. It's like, in some ways, that's what life is, you know. It's like you're constantly in a struggle to get back, you know, to the way things were, or the way things used to be. And of course it never happens, but you still, sometimes the struggle is the journey, you know, and that's fun. So I don't know, man. I really don't know where I would go with this one. I think I feel more connected to The Good Life than I do to Surf Wax America. Mainly because I'm not really a surfer dude. I mean, as good as the Beach Boys are, I was never a huge fan. I feel like all their songs kind of sound the same. Anyway, whatever. We're drifting off the subject here. So yeah, The Good Life's gonna have to take it for this one. So that makes Blue 4, Pinkerton 2. Our Pinkerton's catching up here, huh? Alright, so Blue, track 7, Say It Ain't So. Obviously, again, we have a monster single here. And Pinkerton, track 7, is El Scorcho, which was also single, as I understand. First single. Kind of weird. It seems like a weird choice for a single, to be honest, but that's what it was. So, Say It Ain't So. I mean, what do you even say to that? I mean, once again, he does the high note thing, the unexpected high note on the third or second chorus or whatever. I mean, there's nothing else to really say. It's a solid rock song. Instantly recognizable. It's got a really weird but memorable chord sequence. Just good singing all around. Just a good solid song. El Scorcho is okay. I mean, it's slow, you know. It's like it starts out really slow and plodding, and then in the middle, all of a sudden, it goes into like, not double time, but quadruple time, I think. I think that's what it does. I'm not really sure. But, I don't know. It seems more like one of those novelty songs. Like, basically El Scorcho is Pinkerton's Undone. You know, and I already said what I think about Undone. It's more, you know, like I said, it's like a novelty song. Not really, I don't know, I guess I just don't really get into those that much, or whatever. So, either way, it's still a good song though, but not my favorite from the album, so Say It Ain't So wins. We have Blue 5, Pinkerton 2. So basically, at this point, Blue has secured a victory. The best we can hope for is for Pinkerton to tie. Track 8 is going to be another tough one, because In the Garage on Blue, and when I first got Blue back in '95, In the Garage was my favorite song on it. Obviously now it's The World Has Left and Left Me Here, but I've always loved In the Garage. I don't love it as much as I used to. Like, it's one of those songs where I used to love it because of one little part. You know, and I'm not going to say what part that is because it doesn't matter. It's a catchy song. It's still really good. But Pink Triangle on Pinkerton, like, that song is for probably, well, have I said what my favorite Pinkerton song actually is now? I know it's Across the Sea is what it used to be. But I think these days it's probably Pink Triangle is my favorite Pinkerton song. It's just the way it starts out, so cheesy, and then the guitars kick in and it kind of jumps into this plodding beat. It's so good. I don't know. Plus, don't even get me started on the subject matter, because man, oh man. Plus, when I was at PAX Prime, was that PAX Prime? Mega 64 was playing Weezer songs at their booth. And they were taking requests, and some girl went up and requested Pink Triangle, and they played it. And eventually someone came up and told them to turn it off, so I don't know what happened there. Stupid, but anyway. Pink Triangle's just great. I mean, that song is so freaking funny. And you can kind of, you can kind of relate to it. It's a guy, and he can't get with a girl because she's a lesbian. She already has a girlfriend, and I'm sure most guys can probably relate to that at some point or whatever. So, it's a good song, and it's catchy as hell. Great melody, solid effort. Pink Triangle wins for this one, but barely. It's not as hard of a decision as I thought it was. It has more to do with Pink Triangle being good than In the Garage being bad. Just In the Garage is still a great song. Yeah, Pink Triangle wins. So Blue 5, Pinkerton 3. Track 9. This is another hard one, because I love both of these songs too. Not nearly as much as I love the track 8. But track 9, Holiday, on Blue, is a kind of a weird song. It's in a 3/4 beat, 3/4, 3/4, whatever. It's just one of those guitars jump in. It's like da 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 da. It's so much of like a carnival feeling. It's a good feeling, you know, a celebratory feeling. The entire song feels that way, and I love the way the song ends. I love it when a song just drops to the resting chord, the root chord, and just stops there, you know, just don't. I mean, I'm not, stop singing, just stop even trying to imitate it, really. But yeah, the way Holiday ends is just so good. The rest of the song is good too, but something about the way it ends. It's like you can see it coming a mile away, but it's still so good when it happens. Track 9 on Pinkerton is what? Oh, I'm actually having to stop and think about this one. Wait. It's, maybe I'm Falling For You. Falling For You, is that what it's called? Yeah, and in many ways, surprisingly, this song is similar to Holiday in the way it feels. It feels kind of celebratory, but at the same time, like, you know, I mean, he's basically talking about he's falling for this girl, and he wasn't expecting it to happen, but here it is, you know. It's got some weird hooks in it, too, like you know, but I like you and another one, you say like too much. It's like some weird hooks going on in there. But, once again, that kind of makes it unpredictable, therefore... Oh, battery level low? Crap, we gotta hurry this up. Okay, I'm back. I really hope that it recorded that first section, because if it didn't, I'd have to do it all over again. The battery ran out while I was doing the Weezer album thing, so we were on the last 2 songs, basically. I'm just going to finish this up real quick. So we were talking about Holiday versus Falling For You. One of the other things I really liked about Holiday was, like, it's such a small thing, but, like, that little guitar riff at the beginning, well, they, like, bring it back just in the middle of the final chorus. It's like in a moment when you least expect it. I love little things like that in songs that you don't notice until like the second or third listen. It's like, oh yeah, pretty cool. But at the same time, I can't help but like Falling For You too, just because of how utterly random it is and how happy it is. Like at the end, he's like, all right, let's do it, baby. It's one moment of final happiness before the end of the album or something. I don't know. I guess it is kind of an underwhelming end, because especially if you know what's coming after it. You think, oh, this is the last, you know, well, the last rocking song on the album, so I don't know. It's depressing about that, I don't know. But no, I'd have to give that one to Holiday, which puts Blue ahead 6-3. Blue is ahead 6-3, right? Because Pinkerton won with Across the Sea, The Good Life, and Pink Triangle. But Blue won with My Name Is Jonas, No One Else, The World Has Turned, and Buddy Holly. And then Say It Ain't So, yeah. And then finally Holiday. So that brings us to the end, the final 2 songs, which are Blue's Only in Dreams versus Pinkerton's Butterfly, which, if I'm being honest here, this one's really no contest. It's gotta be Only in Dreams. Anyone who's ever listened to that song, or could even remotely relate to that song, or especially both, knows what I'm talking about. Like, that song, from start to finish, is pretty much a masterpiece. Starting with just a little bass notes, you know, and just gradually working up as, you know, Rivers talks about, oh, it's only in dreams. It's really intense, like the lyrics. I never realized until pretty recently, actually, how intense the lyrics were, just how graphic it gets with specific situations. And then coming out in the end and saying it's only in dreams, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, Butterfly is nice too, but at the same time, it is pretty emotionally charged when you really consider the subject matter, the lyrics, and the way he sings it, and everything is really nice. And I don't have anything against songs that are just like a guy and his guitar, which seem to be like the big thing these days. So yeah, so Only Dreams wins, which makes Blue overall the winner of the two, 7-3. I feel it's kind of weird because I could have sworn I'd done this before, and I think I did do it on E-Pinions. And on E-Pinions, I think they ended up tying though, didn't they? So where would I have differed? I guess back then I probably would have picked No Other One over The World Has Turned and Left Me Here. But that's the only one that I can imagine that I ever would have thought differently about in the past. All the other ones, like there's no way I would have picked Get You over no one else at any point. I might have picked Tired of Sex over My Life or My Name is Jonas, I don't know. It's a tough call, really. They're both great albums, though, and that's what's so great about it. That's why it's so fun to do this. So I may come back here later and actually do an analysis of Weird Al, Poodle Hat versus Running with Scissors, because those are two albums that are kind of startlingly similar when you look at them track by track. It's really crazy. The wind is blowing pretty bad out here tonight. I want to catch the Pokestops. I noticed yesterday that there's like 2 more Pokestops at this park than there were last time I came out here. So I don't know when that happened, but I'm sure happy about it. That means now I can pull 6 Pokestops every 5 minutes just by running back and forth between the buildings and the little shelter house out there. So, yeah, I got some fried chicken in the car, so I don't want it to get cold, so I'm probably going to try to make this a pretty quick trip here. Which means, first of all, I'm going to have to turn you off. So I got a lot to edit from this thing, so we'll do that when we get home. Until then, take care, you guys, and thanks for listening. And look forward to more, because apparently I'm on a roll here.